Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a hypnosis session that is designed to help someone have more effective coping strategies at dealing with stress and anxiety. And this particular client had a tendency to clench their jaw, sometimes grind their teeth, and sometimes pick away at skin as a way of dealing with overwhelming amounts of stress and anxiety. And it was created in a very volatile part of their life. And they weren't in that same place. They'd managed to make very positive, empowering changes to get away from that. But these coping strategies were an echo of a different time in their life where they needed something to help. So in this hypnosis session, you're going to hear various proven coping strategies that genuinely help to release stress and tension. And some of them involve things like progressive relaxation. And one of the ways in which you can amplify progressive relaxation is, rather than just focusing on the muscle group you want to relax, is to actually tense the muscles immediately before releasing them. And that tends to amplify the impact of any tension release, particularly if it's linked to a suggestion of releasing or letting go. That can amplify that. Body movement is also very effective. Things like stretching, dancing, yoga, exercise, all these things, because they change the physiology, they change the state, very, very good at releasing tension. Also, if you have got adrenaline or cortisol in your blood, then having physical activity like cardio, like dancing or running, for example, is going to enable that to be dissipated simply by activating the physiology of the body, increasing blood flow, breathing rate. All of these things are very, very good at releasing, let's say, the kind of stress hormones like cortisol that, if you don't move very much, can naturally increase tension, increase the desire to do something but then not do it. Isn't very helpful. So there's a few suggestions in this hypnosis session that are linked to the belief that these things will help, and in which case it then brings the locus of control to the individual. And once they find a coping strategy that genuinely releases stress, tension, or anxiety rapidly, why would they go back to other things that are less effective and have negative side effects? You know, it's not that useful to pick away at skin, but finding a pressure point or breathing slowly is much more effective. And if it works, then you've got that positive reinforcement, that kind of conditioning to increase the probability that that becomes a default way of dealing with a problem in the future. If you are dealing with overwhelming amounts of stress or anxiety, there will be a link in the show notes where you can schedule a free 30-minute consultation call to explore working with me. But at the same time, you might find that this session, albeit that it was created for someone else, might actually be quite helpful, in which case, find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe in a slow, relaxing breath with a sense of resourceful relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow any feelings of worry, stress, or tension to feel like they're able to leave your body in that outward breath. As you breathe in and breathe out, just allow your eyelids to close. And as they close, notice any remaining tension around your eyelids, perhaps around your eyebrows. And as you breathe in and breathe out, give permission to let go of any stress, to let go of any tension, any worries, any anxiety. Just by breathing in and breathing out, now is the time to release anything and everything that you've been holding on to that you don't need anymore. And maybe that is feelings of mistrust, anger, resentment. Some people believe that suppressed or unreleased emotions manifest themselves in physical symptoms within the body. And therefore, as you release the emotion, you can also release the physical sensation. If there's locked in anger, maybe that manifests itself in a clenched jaw. If there is anxiety or uncertainty, maybe that manifests itself in picking at your skin. But as you breathe in and breathe out, I want you to get a sense of echoes. As you remember a time in your life that you can recall shouting loud and hearing the echoes that followed. And what if some of these physical sensations you've been experiencing aren't based on reality, simply echoes of reality? Whatever the cause was is long gone, and now it may be memories, doubts, thoughts, speculation or superstition that is causing the same triggers, even if things have moved on. I want you to allow yourself to accept the idea that whatever happened in the past that you did in response to overwhelming or unusual situations was the best you knew with the resources you had. But some of these things would have happened weeks, months, even years ago. And over that time, you may have developed new ideas, new coping strategies, new ways of thinking about things. I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine a place of deep tranquility and relaxation. I want you to imagine a magical, warm lake. And I want you to imagine it's so filled with healing salts that you can float on the surface of the water. The water is so dense. You could lay on the top of this warm lake, almost like it's a soft cushion. So imagine lying on that dense, warm lake, allowing your body to sink in, giving you a wonderful feeling of flotation. That's what flotation tanks are. Water filled with salts and minerals, so you can float on the surface of the water. But imagine this happening in a picturesque lake, surrounded by natural beauty, maybe feeling the warmth of the sun on your skin, a wonderful feeling of calm and relaxation. And then I want you to, step by step, tense muscles in your body before releasing. So let's start with the muscles in your jaw. Really tense the muscles in your jaw as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, just release that tension now. And then focus on the muscles in your forehead. Maybe have an expression like concern or concentration. Really tense the muscles and then release those same muscles. And now try it with the muscles there in your neck and your shoulders. Tense every muscle fiber you can imagine there in your neck and your shoulders. Rigid, locked in. Breathe in and then release that tension now, taking you to a place of calm, tranquility and relaxation as your arms feel limp, loose and heavy, and then tense them. Clench your fists, your forearm, your biceps, your triceps, everything there in your hands, your arms, full of tension. Breathe in and then just sigh on that outward breath. And as you do so, feel how good it feels to just release that tension now. And you can do it in your chest muscles. Tense and release. And then your legs. Even your abdominal muscles, just tense everything and release. And sometimes tensing your muscles before you release them means that your muscles are so much more relaxed than if they were never tensed beforehand, because you are priming your body to know those muscles and what it feels like to contrast tension with the wonderful feeling of relaxation. So as you imagine that you're there floating on a lake of minerals and salts, warm water just taking you into a wonderful feeling of calm and relaxation, feel how good it feels to start to let go. That's right. More and more deeply relaxed. As you become aware of stress, visualize it flowing away from you with each long, relieving sigh, leaving space for peace and calm. As you float there, you start to think about what it would mean to exercise, realizing that every moment of exercise is a release, transforming tension into vitality, reshaping anxiety into a powerful rhythm. Acknowledge that when the time is right, if you feel tense, you can dance. And let every movement be an exhilaration of stress. Exhaling that stress and transforming the rhythm of anxiety into a dance of liberation. Prayers can be structured or immediate, and in moments of stillness, let prayers ascend, taking with them the weight of stress, leaving behind a tranquil spirit. And sometimes just a stretch is all you need. Discover the solace in stretching, feeling the release of tight emotions, paving the way for serenity. And maybe there's certain pressure points. By exerting pressure on a particular part of your body, even if it's just that point between your finger and your thumb, what if that was a release valve for stress? As you exert pressure on that release valve, feel that it is a gateway to ease and relaxation. At any point in time, you can tense your jaw and release those muscles. But the moment you feel your jaw tensing unconsciously, it's an invitation to sigh out the tension. Each exhale, releasing any stored tension, taking you on a journey towards relaxation and tranquility. As you become aware of any tension in your neck, let it be a signal to breathe, to sigh into relaxation if you decide to, melting stress away. With each outward breath, you can make that breath longer than it was before. Feel a gentle wave of relief washing over you, soothing every muscle, calming every worry simply by a slow, long outward breath. Stress is a side effect of life. But what if you were able to turn each bout of stress into a cue to move, to stretch, to breathe deeply, transforming concern into action, anxiety into energy. And let your breath be a gentle tide, washing away the rough edges of stress, smoothing the pathways to peace. Motion creates emotion, and therefore exercise is your ally. A portal to channel the energy of anxiety, creating a gateway to vitality and calm. And every beat of your dancing heart is a step away from stress, a leap into the rhythm of relaxation. And what if prayer is your serene conversation with calm, a dialogue with peace that eases any turmoil within? And what if a prayer was just a call, a request to let go, a request to release, And as you find yourself letting go, doesn't it feel good to let go of that tension, let go of those worries, let go of that stress, and in doing so, taking you toward alignment and feeling connected with yourself? As you engage with different pressure points, discover the immediate ease it brings, untying the knots of tension, smoothing the creases of worry. And in your jaw, you hold the power of release. Any tension could be increased, and simply increasing the tension followed by releasing and relaxing sends ripples of calm through your being. And every time tension visits your jaw or neck, let it be a reminder to sigh, to breathe out the anxiety and welcome in the calm. And let this simple act of breathing become a gateway, a passage from the tight grip of stress to the soft embrace of relaxation. And as you invoke the rituals of breathing, stretching, moving and praying, what if you were to combine several of these into a magical ritual move, a dance, a rhythmic flow leading you from stress or anxiety into peace, calm, and serenity? Feel that wave of relaxation ripple to every cell in your body as you find yourself still floating on this wonderful lake of relaxation. And then decide to return to the present, taking that wonderful feeling of calm and relaxation with you. And those old coping strategies of the past remain in the past, because now that you know better, you can do better, figuring out what works the best for you. And sooner or later, your unconscious mind will discover a winning formula, a cocktail of different combinations that enable you to transition from stress and anxiety to calm and peace rapidly. And when it discovers that ideal combination, that will then be your default way of dealing with stress or anxiety from that point forwards. And you know this to be true because in your life, when you found the quickest route from one place to another, that becomes the standard way that you get from A to B. And if A is stress and B is relaxation, very soon you will find the quickest route, and that will be the standard route. So as you breathe in and breathe out, feel like you're returning to the present, taking a wonderful feeling of calm and relaxation with you. All of this are just thoughts within thoughts, ideas within ideas, dreams within dreams, a journey within your imagination to have a physical change in your body, and now feel connected completely with the present. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, feeling connected in the here and now, as very soon I count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You will awaken feeling resourceful, relaxed, with new strategies to deal with stress and anxiety that take your life into the very future that you desire. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.